And a good morning to you. Happy Friday. Happy April Fool's Day. New month, April the 1st. I don't know where time goes. I honestly do not.
Oh, Brady retired last night.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I got some of those too. I'll tell you some other things that happened. Did you know that federal law took effect today that says a current or former astronaut can officiate a marriage? You talking about weird stuff? That's a good one. That's a weird one.
How?
It's April Fool's Day.
I mean, I know that's what I'm saying, but where does it go? Like, where does it?
People, oh, really? An astronaut? Okay. Well, I don't know why you're surprised. You can become an officiating minister by an online, degree thing. Oh, I'm sure.
Can't see y'all.
Can't see us. Oh, why do you need to see me? You can hear me.
That's Kim.
Is that not enough?
Good morning.
You've seen me. I wasn't paying any attention. Sorry, my bad. Everybody happy now? It's Friday. I got up at 4:15 this morning, come up here to get a little embroidery work done.
Tiger Man tees. I walked in.
Rolling.
I felt like I was going back in the day when I worked in the textile mill in Valdez. And I go there I clock in at 6:05 in the morning in the summer. And as soon as I walked in, it was just mass. Yeah, I mean, just chaos and hysteria and just work everywhere.
It's working back there.
Oh my
it's
God,
working. We got things going on. So
it was awesome, dude. You coming here? I mean, you were back there on the phone with like 8 different people.
Yeah, but that's just the way it works.
And it's the machines going everywhere, running back and forth. It was great, man. Good stuff.
One of those that I was on the phone with was our daughter, honey. So you need to check on her. She ain't feeling good today.
Oh, yeah, her.
Yeah, she. Dylan, her boyfriend, he had to go to urgent care. He had such a bad something going on with his stomach, and they were concerned it might be gallstones or appendix or something like that. And it turned out just to be a really severe viral infection. Okay,
so Mandy was telling me that there was one going around for the last 2 weeks, and
that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's that time, and people have been, I don't mean hiding out, but you know what I mean, like just, we haven't been able to be around each other, so things when we do get them are going to be magnified for a while because immunity is, for certain things is lower, because of what we came out of,
it's funny.
Or likely that way.
I had to go yesterday because I've been having some trouble with my neck. And I had like a pinched nerve maybe a month and a half ago, just really painful, couldn't make it go away. And I can't take the normal anti-inflammatory drugs because I've had this gastric sleeve. You can't take that kind of stuff. It's hard on your stomach anyway.
Right.
So there's not a whole lot that you can take. So I did massage therapy, which helped a tremendous amount because when you hurt, you tense and get tighter and you kind of get those muscles relaxed, and it loosened up. And so it helped me. But when I shave, when I turn my head, it's like a box of Rice Krispies.
Which shoulder is it on?
Oh, it's not. My neck.
That's what I'm saying. But
right
which
here.
Side does it hurt on?
Right.
That should be your right shoulder. No, that should be the good. Like the good one sits on the right shoulder. The one that talks to your voices is on the left.
I don't know. I have two of those. I have two bad ones. I have two bad ones.
Jones Ford Massage School that was able to work
on
that?
No.
What?
No.
What?
No. Please stop.
Speaking of which, I saw Renee. She does a massage school here across the street. I saw her and her husband a couple of weeks ago. I saw them in J&L and had a nice – I bet we talked 45 minutes just catching up. I hadn't seen them in a long time. I mean, obviously we hadn't seen a lot of people in a long time, because of – things have been through the last couple of years, but it's great catching up with her. Things are going really good over there. She's looking at expanding. So, that's a great place to go. She's got students in there. They're working. They're trying to learn. Good
now, Kim goes there. Addison goes there. I have and the only reason I went, I've got a client that buys shirts.
Sure. No,
I kind of it's that reciprocation kind of thing.
Well, I go to Paul and Michael, who was my brother's age when they were in school at Maiden. I knew her, and she trained next door at the School of Massage Therapy, and I've known her for maybe 25 years. She's fantastic, but I also go across the street over here too to the to massage the clinic school with massage next door. So,
are you talking to me, honey? I don't know. She just says stuff sometimes. Tim Smith, good morning. Canon Page, good morning. Milton, good morning.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
She said, I was just wondering exactly who was giving the massages. News to me. I only got one. You know where I went. Stephen Lowe, good morning. Stephen Lowe, guess what?
Oh,
I've got a brand new golf bag for the trip.
Oh, it's awesome. Oh, man. We're not
I upgraded from nitro balls to my Callaway Super Softs.
Y'all crazy, man.
And here's the big news. Yes, I'm talking to you. Well, I'm talking to you. You know where I went.
Oh, God. Oh, gosh.
And, Stephen, I showed 4 the Pineapple Cup polos are in, and they will get embroidered this weekend for the trip.
And next year, it will turn into a classic.
Because
that will be the 5th year.
We'll go with the classic.
Whatever that means.
We can do a new logo every year. That'll be fine. I have no problem with that.
Oh, God. Hey, we need to open it up next year, too, to see if, like Richie and Milton and, some of the guys. I mean, I'm just giving an example, but, I mean, we got so many. But see if those guys maybe want to
golfers
try to go. You know what I'm saying? Because Steven does such a great job with this thing. And
well, now here's another thing that I have often thought about is we didn't do it when I had the station in Charlotte because the people that wanted to do it with us, which to put on a golf tournament, they wanted to do it as a for-profit thing, and I'm like, no. If I put on a golf tournament, we're going to have a charity.
Yes,
and I don't want any money out of it. I just,
let's do it.
So I'm thinking we might want to do something. David Lilly, golf trip. David, go play.
Absolutely.
We'll put you on the list for next year. We're leaving Monday and going to.
That's awesome.
It's okay. You didn't buy any of those golf bags, so don't worry about it.
Kim got those. Oh, Lenny. Oh,
it's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
just so I'll go ahead and I'll alert you to this. I also have a new pair of golf shoes coming in. Be here Sunday because all my little nubbies on my shoes have worn out because I'm large.
You and I talked about that last week when we were playing. What's interesting is I got a pair of Under Armours that have like little mold cleats on the bottom. That, as you get older, you don't like slipping and falling quite as much.
Yeah.
So I used them for football season on Friday night. They're kind of bright blue, but they are the most comfortable shoes ever.
Well, these are Skechers. Right. They're not expensive, and I love them.
They're great shoes. The Skechers are.
I'm not digging, Milton. You don't understand. I don't care. Oh my God, Link's another golfer.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, not only on the trip, but you're talking about doing. I mean, maybe looking at something. Would it be through WLN or Sports Talk, guys? How would you do it?
Yeah. We just put something, and we just find a charity.
A charity event, right?
Yep.
We really ought to think about a cause and go for it. Look at Todd.
Todd, you're a public official. It's funny. My dad, when I was growing up, my dad had a regular Friday night poker game at a guy's house in his basement, and you know what? 60% of the guys there were county commissioners.
Yeah,
in Lincoln County, but it was nickel dime stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's guys getting together and having fun, and they're not hurting anybody. And I mean, it's Todd says that's great, man. I love it.
You're exactly right, Camden Page. Camden, what do I get for letting you go on the trip? You get to be at home with your dog.
Whoa.
I don't know what else you could ask for. I won't be there to aggravate you or wake the dog up because
I can't read. What do I get for
letting me go on the trip? Let me go on the trip.
Letting you go on the trip.
Yeah. She didn't let me go on the trip just in case she's wondering. Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Camden, my daughter is she has a very caring nature. That's why she went into nursing. And she has she's going to get a client and be a caregiver for a young man that's autistic.
Yes.
And so Camden said maybe we could do something for autism.
Absolutely. I taught special ed for many years.
I taught for 2.
Right, and
loved it.
And it was all across what they call the spectrum, and it could be kids that were very high functioning, that were extremely intelligent in math, and I'm just giving an example, science, those kind of things, but had a writing disability. Or the children that we worked with also could have a form or be autistic. We had some children that had cerebral palsy. So I'm all about doing this.
Yeah.
So we
all right. Well, we'll come up with one, and we'll do a tournament and put it. I might get Steven to help me kind of run that thing because he's done such a good job on putting this together. But this golf trip, this is a 4 thing that Canon said he has a touch of CP.
Right, and tell her.
Mikey's in. Mikey's got the new car wash down here.
Absolutely.
Right now, your house.
And I'm going to bring mine down there, by the way.
I told him I'd let the rain get through, and I'd do the same thing.
Down, so I'm going to drop it off. But I will talk to Canon about some of my experiences with the kids that have autism, maybe with some, with CP or vice versa. That I'll be glad to go.
But we'll put something together. The golf trip thing that we're doing. That's why we won't be on next week, except Thursday. That's our day off from golfing. But Steven did a great job. We're going down to Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
We're playing 4 rounds in our little package that he did. We're playing 4 rounds of golf. We're staying 5 nights in 2-bedroom condos. And it includes our room and our golf and what am I thinking? Am I thinking lunch?
Okay, so some places you can do breakfast or have a lunch ticket. So a little flexibility
there.
Or maybe just this is what we got for that day, right?
Okay.
So the interesting thing is all the dynamic personalities and different personalities that we have going. Because the group, there's really no 2 people, and that people say this all the time. There's no 2 people exactly the same, but you kind of flock with people that you have similarities with or like kindness, those kind of things, right? Well, we all have those things, but we're very diverse in that, so it makes for a very good, a lot of fun conversation.
And the other side of it is nobody's taking their golf real serious. This is about the trip.
It's fellowship.
Yeah, just go down and have a good time.
We're deepening our relationships as brothers.
But anyway, the way this thing worked out, the 4 rounds of golf, the 5 nights accommodation, and what other little extras come along with it, we got that for less than $100 a night.
Well, way less.
And so it's a great little trip. And so I know Steven said might do it a little bit different. We're doing Monday to Saturday. We're playing golf going down on Monday before we check in. And Steven said the food is a serious part.
Now it is. That's a major discussion, okay, because you have Travis, Robbie, okay, Steven. Yeah, on occasion I like to eat. Okay. But there's
Jared, if he was going.
Jared is serious.
Yeah.
He's a very serious competitor at the table.
Yeah.
When we go one night, we will go to George's, that big seafood buffet that's down there. Yeah. And we will go about 4:15 or 4:30 to make sure that we get in there. And what happens is we will be the first 9 people, 10 people in line for the crab legs. And so there's a strategy.
We'll be the youngest people there.
It's incredible.
4, can you tell Lanny is excited? Y'all keep talking about it. 4's going to have to buy an entire complex. I don't care.
Hey, look, it's all good. I'll do anything. I'll do anything for the fellas.
We're excited.
Good.
We're excited.
It'll be fun.
But yeah, I have never been on a trip like this. Mainly because my wife didn't trust me to take trips like this. But
it's not that kind. I know what you're talking about, but it's not.
I came from the coaching fraternity of years ago.
No, I understand, but this is no.
Yeah.
No shot. You will be cut off at the.
You'll be cut off at the buffet, Chad Moles.
Chad, hey, look, when me and Chad were growing up playing ball against each other, great. I love him to death. Great guy. He and Darren and Scott and those guys are great, but. One thing about is Darren was like the biggest one of all of us. Like he was real husky and strong, and me and Chad were like this big around, man. And of course Scott Parham, his brother Jeff's the baseball coach at South, but Scott's that age too, and Scott was kind of like the in between, whatever. But yeah, we could eat back in the day and didn't retain.
You'll like this. She said, still not sure I do. Probably trust 4 or more to look after me.
Oh,
isn't that special? You're so special, honey. Thank you for all your vote of confidence.
Robbie's down there too.
I appreciate it. I appreciate all your confidence that you have in me. Thank you. That's nice.
Oh, so national championship. We'll be down there Monday night. Obviously, when that comes on, so that'll be. My cousin Rob is like, he lives right outside of he's Raleigh, but right outside Durham. And he is like the world's biggest Duke basketball fan. Now, full disclosure, my parents grew up in that area. They grew up in Mebane, the Research Triangle area. Some were all about Chapel Hill, some were all about State, and then there's a couple that are all about Duke. My aunt was a cardiologist, doctor there for 30-some years and still works in research. And she's been retired but still works in the research department there. But there's a lot of ties personally to that area for us. So
I ain't got a dog in the fight.
Well, no, I'm just saying it's a big deal, because
my only claim to fame with that is I got accepted and offered a scholarship to play at Duke and got in.
To Duke?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations on getting in.
Yeah.
They came and talked to me, football and baseball-wise, when I was a senior in high school. And, I mean, literally both came in.
Oh, they got pissed when I told them I wouldn't come.
And, came in and everything was good. And they said, well, we'll get your transcripts and we'll get back to you. I'm still waiting.
Finished,
still waiting on that. It's been
finished like 10th or 11th out of my class.
Out of how many?
108.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Top 10%.
We had like 7,000 East Burke. I think I was like number.
That's what made them mad, because Duke didn't usually get the. Not that I was a great player, but didn't get the top tier.
Absolutely.
Because of the academic side of it.
Right.
Yeah, but they were mad. Let me take a break. We'll be back. We'll talk some more crap when we get back.
All in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with department staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times.
And welcome back. Yeah, honey, I'm gonna switch it over. I'm here. I'm not playing.
He's getting a massage. He's back. Sorry.
That's a great comment, David. You're exactly right. Lanny will thrive outside the bubble. Honey, I don't know what you're smoking. Don't let him fool you. He loves this wonderful bubble we call home. Okay. You know, we've had this discussion. That's why I'm being cremated, so she don't put me in the ground here. Wouldn't want my body to spend eternity in Maiden. Kidding me?
You already are now.
Okay. Adam McCall. Lanny met Mr. Sigmund at Maiden yesterday. He spoke highly of you. Which Mr. Sigmund would that be? You know Adam McCall.
Yeah.
Played
Fritzy Ford. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good dude.
Yeah. He's the one that did my install for Spectrum.
Okay.
Here when I did some upgrade stuff.
So he's Spectrum guy?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Adam.
Does a good job. Yeah, does a good job.
Hey, how about sending me a message, dude, on Messenger? Need a couple things.
Need a couple things.
Yep.
Let me get
awesome
into a couple of headlines, see what's going on here. I get your take on this. I talked about it yesterday. I was in here by myself. When I was listening to Dan Patrick yesterday morning, they do their poll question.
Yep.
And their poll question was, what do you think was the biggest influence on Bruce Arians' retirement move to the front office? And 72% said Tom Brady.
No, it's not true.
You don't think so?
No, it's not true.
Okay. Give me your take.
No, I just think that Arians the way he grew up, it's a very interesting background. He grew up in a place where there was a lot of diversification. He will talk about it, and I'm talking about different ethnicities. Okay, and he said, we all walked to school together. We would play ball, we would fight, but we grew up that way. And my point to all this is he's always been a guy that is about the people that he's surrounded with and protecting them and trying to make them the best they can be, growing up with that rough, not chip on your shoulder, but that, just that rough cut. He cuts through the fluff, all right, he gets to the feelings crap. So, the people around him can truly rise to their true potential because they leave all the other stuff behind that doesn't matter. And the point that I'm making is that he is a long-term focused planning guy. Like, he is all about people. He's not about Bruce. He's about making Bruce the best Bruce can be so others can thrive, right? And so when he sees an opportunity, he loves Todd Bowles. And I
think Todd Bowles will do a good job. He's just been in bad situations.
Right, but he learned a lot too.
Yes.
From being maybe too passive, too reserved. Now, we all have our personality, okay? And that doesn't make anybody wrong, the way that they are. But sometimes you have to adapt a little bit to the environment you're in. Well, Bruce is all about promoting people, all right? And he's been doing it long enough where he's like, you know what? This is a great chance for me to be a mentor and to kind of get out of the way now. These guys know what they're doing. And I'm going to give you a personal example, okay? When I was coaching American Legion baseball at Post 48 in Hickory, all right, I've been doing it 6 or 7 years, and Cam Beard was a junior in college going into his senior year. He was hurt that summer and couldn't play summer ball. So I said, Cam, if you're rehabbing, just come help me coach because I know that's what you're going to do. And my plan was to have Cam with me 4 or 5 years and then turn the program over to him. Well, let me tell you what I did. after one season, Robbie Abernathy and I were out there, Cam. Every day I evaluated Cam. Every day. Now, I wouldn't necessarily share it with him, but 1 or 2 times a week. But every day I evaluated him. And what I came to find out is that, he's a 21-year-old in a 50-year-old body. I mean, I don't mean mindset. With maturity. I don't want to keep doing this forever. They started letting teams pop up everywhere. It started watering everything down. They changed the rules. 7 innings. Teams can go over.
Right.
I just got frustrated with it. But I didn't want the situation to be turned over just to whoever and it to go immediately back down. I wanted to maintain a certain level. So what I recognized, kind of like Bruce Arians did with Todd Bowles and, really with offensive coordinator. Anyway, what he noticed is what I noticed with Cam. You know what? This guy's ready. He may be young. I know Bowles has been head coach, but he's ready. So I talked to the head Legionnaire, Roy Waters, said, look, Roy, he's young. He's going to graduate next year from college, but he is ready. He understands baseball. He's mature. And, he's like, well, they'll eat him alive. I'm like, no, he's different. He's different. So when the opportunity's right to get somebody in there, you get them in and step back and let them go. Because, that's the most important thing. And that's why I'm saying it's not about Brady. That's the deterrent. That's like saying that our oil prices are due to Russia. That's a deterrent. That is not true, okay? They may have some small inflation. Now, I'm not getting into politics. I'm just talking about, but you got to focus on the truth. And unfortunately, in most people's lives, their reality of their individual situation is their truth, instead of really what's going on and being informed where the reality may be a little different. So I just think Bruce is doing this because Todd Bowles and
Tony Dungy did the same thing with Jim Caldwell at the Colts.
Yeah.
I
think it's a great thing, and I've always been a Bruce Arians fan. He was offensive coordinator for the Steelers. I've been following him a long, long time. There's just a lot of great stuff that's going to come out of this, and there's going to be a lot of elevation. People, and I understand, about trying to get equity and things like that in the league, but from a standpoint of looking at things, Todd Bowles has earned this opportunity. And that's what makes it so great.
I like Todd Bowles when he was at the Jets. He just didn't have anything to work with.
I did too, but I didn't like some of the mannerisms. And I'm not criticizing him. I'm saying I think he was a new head coach, still learning, and he was just kind of, passive. I think Raheem Morris, fell into a little bit of the same issue at Tampa Bay when he took over. He was just real young, and you have to make those mistakes, though, to get to where you need to be.
That's
correct.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not a criticism. It's okay because God knows I've made them, but I'm trying to make myself a little better every day.
If you learn from them, that's the key.
Absolutely.
Milton said nobody will be successful in New York until major changes happen at the Giants and the Jets. Yeah. Bowles was in a no-win situation, and that's, everybody. Robert Sala's gonna probably go through the same thing.
Yeah. There's just I got to tell you, who
dysfunction.
Was it Milton or
Milton?
Yeah, Milton. I agree, and the thing, I kind of feel like this may sound crazy, but I kind of feel like Carolina's in that same boat.
Yeah, but
I don't care who you get in until you get things focused. Ron Rivera was our coach.
Yep,
and I sometimes I know you got to change. Somebody's been there a while, it's fine, but who? I don't know.
Now let me give you this one. This is talking about Panther needs at quarterback. Okay, this is one of the talking heads from ESPN. He said this will be interesting because the tackles will be the best players on the board. Now this is Scott Fitterer, who is the general manager. But we do need a quarterback, and at some point you have to take a shot, especially in the top 10, because they're picking, 6th? He said, you hate to force it because when you force it, you could make a mistake. I understand the thing about taking the best talent on the board. I understand that philosophy, but not when you've got glaring needs and you don't,
No, that's ridiculous. That is a terrible philosophy. That is terrible.
It said this is a notable for a few reasons. First of all, they got the number 6 pick. They have need at quarterback.
Yes.
Coach Matt Rule, this is the part that bothers me, though, for. Coach Rule originally recruited Kenny Pickett to Temple before becoming the coach at Baylor. Yeah. So there's an obvious connection there.
Oh, really?
But I'm just not big into Matt Rule pulling every player that he's ever coached or had a connection into the franchise. But I like Kenny Pickett. Don't get me wrong. I would not be disappointed with that
I
with that pick.
Saying.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
He said what's also notable is that the Panthers do not own a selection in round 2 or 3.
Right.
This seems to be setting up nicely for them to trade back a few spots, allowing a team with a needed offensive tackle to move up while adding a day 2 selection and getting to a more comfortable position to draft Pickett or Malik Willis. Those two guys won't be there in second round.
You're likely very right. But if they do that, I have not been real impressed with the lack of movement in certain areas that Carolina has done. And look, everybody will agree to disagree. If you think, not you, third person, if you think pulling the best player, the next best talented player is most important for you and your organization, then by all means do that. If you're trying to win a Super Bowl and draft your future where you can win a Super Bowl, then you take the best player at the need that you have long term that will fit that, because there'll always be other great players that have screwed up that you can get in free agency that need a second chance, that are probably a greater talent and proven talent-wise, maybe not with the way they portray themselves or act, right? That's why they need the second chance. But from a talent standpoint, it's likely already going to be available in free agency. That's why I don't, and again, personally, when I watch the draft, I don't like saying, well, he's the next best player, you got to take him. Well, if you're always focused on style that's unrealized and not focused on the substance and what it takes to be successful long term, then you're going to keep getting the crap that you're getting.
I don't understand why you can't take what your needs are and take the best player in that position, because you're not going to be rounds apart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, you're not. Right. If the best player at left tackle, let's say, on your board is a late second rounder, and you need a left tackle, I just don't. You don't reach for that guy. But if there's somebody out there that will work, I'm a little concerned about whether the Panthers really need a rookie quarterback. And I like both those guys. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, no, I know what you're saying.
But they don't have any leadership inside that team. No. And then you're going to go get a quarterback that can't bring any of that either.
It's interesting to me, and I think your point is spot on with the Panthers. It's interesting to me about the Cleveland Browns.
Mm-hmm.
They've drafted first-round quarterbacks for the Lord knows how long. The last, 15 years, and none of them have panned out. Now, you can say Baker did or maybe didn't, whatever. That's arguable, to some degree, because they're a lot better than they were.
Mm-hmm.
But I go back to saying, really, how bad would Cleveland have been if they would have drafted Tebow and just let him run,
just let him play,
and be a distributor? You say, well, he can't throw the football. Saw an interesting clip on him with my son Garrick the other day, just on the internet. We were just surfing around and looking at quarterbacks, and a lot of interesting statistics and game proof backed up with those statistics and clips that they were showing about Tebow. And then you measure with other quarterbacks that were supposedly the next great thing that did not pan out at all, and then what they were graded out as coming out, this, that, and the other. Now, we all know that, Tebow's throwing, was said that he just couldn't overcome that flaw. But I'm sorry, if you get down inside or you need a first down when it's 3rd and 3.
Same thing they did with Cam.
Lanny, I'm telling you, there's something to be said for a guy. It's like the whole Freddie Freeman thing.
Mm-hmm.
The locker room. If you got guys on the same page.
Yeah.
The locker room is what matters most.
Yeah.
And getting things done, because then it just goes out onto the field.
Yeah.
And then things start happening. It's not about Antonio Brown catching a touchdown and doing that whatever dance that he does, because what's he doing right now?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Let me take a break. We come back. I'm going to get into Link's comment. You just have to hang on to that in a minute because I'm a fat man.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home. First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com. At Stifel Nicholas, we're committed to offering investors personalized investment guidance. We're a full-service organization with department staffed with professionals that specialize in a wide range of investment opportunities, from the most conservative to the most aggressive. We strive to give each account, regardless of size, careful, individual attention. Call 4Member today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times.
And welcome back. Let me get into Link's comment. Honey, you need a cold shower after that Tebow comment? Todd says, Panthers, blow it up, start over. There'll be a champion-level soccer team in Charlotte before football. That would not surprise me at all, Todd.
Where your focus is your reality.
Yeah, that would not surprise me at all.
It's a great point.
Kim said you always, but But as always, until they get the quarterback some protection, it's not going to matter. Yeah. That's true.
That's a good point.
Chad said Patriots are a perfect example of trading picks to get players who fit a need.
Yes.
But you got to know what your need is and be a fair evaluator.
I think that's exactly what Chad is getting at, Lanny. That that it's just streamlined process. Now, did you see where Kraft was a little agitated the other day that they hadn't won a playoff game since 2018? Holy cow.
You know what I call that? I call that greed. That's what I call that.
Oh, God. He was agitated, and he was saying, that we need to be better, and we need, we haven't drafted real well the last couple of years. And that's fair with the exception of Duggar and one other guy that has really, but some of the other ones just have not panned out, and, they showed where they have gone. And then Belichick, he agreed. I mean, he kind of, in his way, he agreed. He didn't come out and say, yeah, Mr. Kraft's right. He kind of said, well, this is what's going on, and we've assessed it, and, this is exactly right. So,
Lincoln is a Patriot hater. He said that's called justice when you ain't won a playoff game in 4 years.
Yeah, right. I forgot.
Now, Link had this comment. He said, my coach has always said you can teach anybody to carry the ball, but you can't teach someone to block. There are certain skills, okay, and not just because I'm a fat boy, but there are certain skills, depending upon what you do, that you can either do it or you can't do it. Linemen have to know how to move their feet, their balance, their center of gravity, so that they're not overextended, all of these things. I mean, and you can't teach it. I can remember when I was coaching, when I was playing, I made a great play on my former college roommate, the infamous, the Pope, Jamie Pope, at West Lincoln, senior season.
Right.
About the 35, their 35. I'm doing Mike Powell now. About their 35-yard line on the visiting side.
Okay.
I got him in the backfield on a quick pitch for a loss.
Because
the tackle in front of me was tipping off where he was going. And I knew he was leaving, and when when the ball was snapped, he took off, and I met Jamie before he ever made the cut. It wasn't because I was a great player, but because I would read what you give me tips.
That's what made you even a great
and I
player.
tried to teach my kids. Well, pressure on fingertips, they lean, they point, and I never could. But it was just one of those things that I picked up.
Right.
But those are the little things that you can't teach. For example, a receiver can't teach a kid to catch. He can either catch or he can't catch. Yeah. You've seen these guys that can fly, that are sprinters. And God, they make a great receiver. Nope. If they don't have the hands, they don't understand the mechanics. There's so much of that stuff that just comes natural or from so much repetition.
Yep.
You know, going back to the fat boys again, if you're a puller, you got to teach that first step and the weight and all the things that go into it. Now, can I line somebody up and say, yeah, go hit that other fat boy in front of you? Yeah, I can do that with a lineman, but to be a real lineman or a real receiver, you got to do it just a little bit different. There got to be some naturals.
I completely agree.
Yeah, Link's right. If you got a receiver that can't catch, they become a defensive back
really quick. All right? So to piggyback on that, there's a lot of talk and focus only on 7-on-7s. There's a lot of teams out there. They have, mega teams. We got some kids in Maiden that play on teams in Charlotte.
But if all anybody does is pass block, that's different.
Well, this is the thing about it. The thing, that I think most of the emphasis should actually be on, and, if you're doing what everybody else is doing, then you're probably just going to kind of meld in and kind of be like everybody else. But what if you're focused on how good your linemen are? When we played East Surrey last year, it was evident how well coached and how hard they worked up front by the way they pulled, their technique, their blocking schemes, exactly what they wanted to do. If this play required 3 yards, then they were going to do everything they could do to get the 3 yards. If it required, hey, this could be a big hitter for us, then that's the way they blocked it. And as good as their quarterback was, and he is phenomenal. He's a lefty. He's a junior. He's like the draft in baseball next year after senior year, but he's been offered already, several scholarships. His brother was the big tall kid, Jefferson Boys, that playing at Carolina. He's like 6'7". This kid is like 6'5" or whatever, 6'4". But as impressive as he was, what was even more impressive to me was the interior front five they had. And, that to me, that really came down to the difference between us and them. It wasn't our ability to be able to outscore them in the passing game or the running game or, hold them on this or pick this ball off or whatever. In the end, that's what they did so well. And the focus, if you, like you said, if your focus is on your front, just like any battle that you go into, you send your front line in to set the standard. And then you start shooting with tanks from long distance, right? And then, other kinds of air missiles, right? And then you bring the jets in and, bombing things and all that, fighter jets. So, I really think that, having that focus on the up front guys, and you can say both sides of the ball if you want to, depending on what defense you got. But, Lenny, you're 100% right. And what's interesting is some kids have instincts where they can pick up and almost see a play happen before it happens by the way that there's pressure on the hands or sitting back in the stance or whatever. And then there's some kids that are oblivious to it, and they just, Well, that's fine. I mean, it doesn't make them bad people. It's just that's the difference between good players and great players.
The other thing, and this is something I don't think that you can teach. Maybe you can if you've got a kid that's going to work hard enough at it. The key to being successful, in my view, from an offensive standpoint, all of the kids that are those 11 kids not only need to know their job, but they need to know everything that's going around and how it affects what's going on. Okay? And a lot of kids can't process that. No, they can't. Now, quarterback has to know that.
Right. They just think about going and making a tackle instead of doing their job.
Because so many kids want to know spots. What spot do I hit? What hole do I hit? When you can have backs that can read and adjust, of course. Defenses cheat. They cheat because they're not where they said they would be.
Yeah,
and so,
I've heard that before.
When I played, they didn't cheat. I mean, when we prepped for Lincoln, they were in a 6'2", and we knew they were going to be in a 6'2". We prepped for this team, they were a 52, they were going to be in a 52.
Right.
Now, there's nobody really naming what those defensive are. They're just in a front, and it may not be the same thing.
Yeah.
And so that's the other thing that there's – and I've said this so many times, and it really in golf, I say, you go out and play golf and it's a long hole. Well, what's the furthest distance that bothers you? And I'm the 6 inches between my ears because it's a mental game. And most sports they're mental games. You got to understand the mental side. It's not all physical.
Yeah, you do.
And just like when you're teaching, morning Andy, when you're teaching kids, you have to make sure that they don't have to think about techniques. Mm-hmm. They have to make split-second decisions and react to what's happening in front of them. Like you were talking about in golf. When you go up and swing, you don't want to think about, my right elbow's got to be in and I got to make this turn and my shoulders and that kind of stuff. That stuff has to be natural because by the time you're swinging, that's not the time to think about it.
Well, that's what a lot of kids do hitting a baseball too, and you just can't do it. You prep for that, but in golf, when you start doing that, that's when all those beaver pelts start showing up. When you kind of like I did on like 3 or 4 holes in a row where I was trying to get it just completely disconnected, right? Like, come on.
As Kevin Costner said in Tin Cup, I feel like an unfolded lawn chair.
No, it's true. And there's 3 of those beaver pelts that I hit. That I could have traded Lewis and Clark for their, expedition.
They were good looking. They were good looking. You were doing some aeration. He was doing some aeration out there.
Some nice grass in a couple of places.
You were doing some aeration. Milton said receivers that run lazy routes should be held responsible for their interceptions. A lot of times people want to put that blame on a quarterback.
No.
But
that's not the way it works.
Receivers have got to do their part. It's all connected.
It's timing mechanisms.
Yeah.
And if one part doesn't
just like
hold
linemen,
up
if they don't hold up and the quarterback has to rush the throw, that's an effect
mechanism.
too.
And that's what makes the game, the intricacies of the game, and where you're able to take advantage. And I'll give you an example. When I watch film, I'm not watching the plays they run. I'm studying 100% human behavior.
Yes.
Now, obviously, we
tendencies.
work on
I'm
the
looking
plays
at
they
tendencies
run,
and players and those kind of things.
But I watch how they run it and who does what, and try to find if there is a weak link.
That's correct.
Where can we expose it on this down and distance? So, it's – and, of course, everybody does it different. I mean, there's defensive coordinators just watch only the plays and try to stop those plays.
And, see, I never was much on sharing that, not the film side of it, with players because most of my players couldn't understand it and they were like watching a highlight reel. They weren't.
Well, they're watching the play instead of
what's
I
would
on.
rather
Right.
watch it and then convey that
well, what's
to
interesting
them.
is I learned that from Coach Brown, coaching at Maiden. Now, Coach Kellum, who was at Chocowinity High School that eventually became Southside, they're 1A, and won a couple state championships. He's a wing T guy, big, traditional wing T guy. He was big on behavior, but it was, 2-buck, 3-counter, 7-counter, the traditional wing, ISO, traditional wing T plays, right? So he really didn't care so much about the players he was going against as much as setting things up. You know what I'm saying? So there's a different philosophy. But what I thought was so interesting, Coach Brown, is just learning from him and asking questions, at a very young age, in there with him, and after about the third week, I just sat down with him one day in his office for practice, and I said, Coach Brown, when you watch film, what are you looking for? He said, son, I want to be able to see what all 22 guys do at one time. And he said, then from there, I'll watch it again and again, talking about just through the process of the week, again and again and again and again, and, where he's able to find, what plays will work based on, how the defenders respond to things or where the weak link is or who may be vulnerable or who we need to stay away from. You can have a great player that doesn't do their job, and they will get exposed really bad when you need them most. And so does that really make him a great player or a selfish player? I don't know. But anyway, that's the whole point. I would try to find selfish players and lead them astray, like guys that would, instead of maintaining or doing their job, that if they saw the ball go that way, they would start chasing it and run reverses back off. Yeah, I mean, just give an example.
Yeah, no.
But, it's all relative to –
and that's what Andrew's saying. He said, always looking for the X factor. Got to find who makes it tick. Mark Alton said he's late to the show today. He played an April Fool's joke on himself and hid his car keys. So he was late to the office. Great job, Mark. So proud of you here on April Fool's Day. I'm so proud of you that you did that. Let me give you a couple of NFL things before we get out of here. Sports books have been set for number of wins, okay? And the two teams leading that would be the Bucks and the Bills at 13.5. I'm sorry, 11.5. 11.5. Next would be the Packers at 11. The Chiefs, the Rams, the Cowboys at 10.5.
Nope.
And the 49ers, Broncos, and Chargers opened at 10, and that rounds out all the teams with the double-digit wins that they're picking.
Well,
now,
let's go back and look at those. Who's not going to do that? I know this is what they're doing computer science-wise, but who's not? Tampa Bay's going to end up with 13, okay? Buffalo's going to end up with 10. All right, they're going to have a little bit of a – people have a year to adapt to them and their greatness, and Josh Allen run the football. He's not going to be able to run the football like that if he's going to stay healthy, okay? So that's going to cut him back a little bit. Kansas City, I tell you what, I hope they do well because I like Andy Reid, but I can see that unfolding very quickly. Yeah. And the whole thing with Dallas, are we really having that discussion? Not you and I, but are we really having that discussion again about how good they're going to be? I mean, I'm so eventually.
No, I'm over
it's
that.
Like saying when you walk outside every day, it's going to rain. It's going to rain. Eventually it'll damn rain. But this
I'm
is just
so
insane.
over that. Just so over that.
And the Packers, I think, are going to be 12 or 13 wins.
Here's the ugly division. Let me give you the ugly division and the most competitive division. They're saying is the North, the AFC North. That's Ravens, Bengals, Browns at 9.5.
No.
Steelers at 7.5.
Nope. Browns are going to be sub 500 at best next year.
It's going to depend on how many games Deshaun gets to play.
Right, and the unfamiliarity they have. And he's going to see a level of defense in that league that he's not accustomed to. All right? The thing with the Bengals, they're going to be at 12 or 13 very likely. The Ravens, I think they're going to continue to get worse, okay? The Lamar thing has almost reached a point and is going to start going down. And, again, there's a reason teams don't run zone reads because he didn't play a lot last year towards the end, right? Why? Because he's hurt.
Yeah.
So, or all these, play action stuff out of the gun. No.
I love this one. NFC East, the Cowboys at 10.5, the Eagles at 9, the Commanders at 7.5, and the Giants at 7.
Really, the Giants at 7. Try 4. The Commanders, that's Washington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? The Eagles, I give them 7 to 10. I'll give them some grace there. The Cowboys, God bless them, dude.
I think I'll take the under on the Cowboys at 10.5.
I just don't have a lot of faith in I don't know.
Your Carolina Panthers are picked at 6. I'll take the under on that one.
6 for who? The
Panthers. I don't see 6. I'd have to look at the schedule. I'm not sure they can win 6 games.
It's going to be a massacre when they play Tampa Bay.
And I think the big surprise here is the NFC West, the Rams and the 49ers. They're both the Rams are at 10.5, 49ers at 10. We'll have to see how that one goes.
Matt Ryan went to
Colts. And the Colts are at they've got them winning the AFC South at 9.5.
Titans at 11, Jags at 3, Texans 2, Colts at they got them at what? I can't see it.
9.5.
Say 9.5. Tell you what, that's going to be an all or none. That's going to be an all or none.
But here's the deal. Frank Reich can make Matt Ryan work in that system.
And that's kind of what I mean. So it's going to be an all or none.
But that's not a long-term solution.
And one thing I want to tell you, and you and I touched on this a little bit, with Carson Wentz, okay, and I'm fearful that the same thing will come to fruition with Trey Lance, okay? And it's not because they're not great players, great people. But people, you will hear people talk, whether it be on the radio or just in general. Like we're sitting down eating lunch and people, or in our group golf thing, right? Yeah, but that talent, it rises to the top. It rises to the occasion. Actually, what happens is you actually perform and fall to the level of your training. All right, and what that means is what you've gone up against. That's why Carson Wentz was going back on his back and threw the ball up in the air at the end zone for no reason to try to make something happen. And the guy just picks it off and walks in, 2 steps. It a lot of it has to do with your training, and you actually fall to the level of your training. So you fall back to your training.
Well,
when you play the system like you did in college, when you can get away with crap like that because you have, a defensive lineman on the other team that is a good player, but nobody in Division I football recruited him, that's different than an NFL defensive lineman coming out of Clemson or Alabama. Okay? And
the old adage of you play like you practice is so true. Yeah. Because when you're talking about practice or training, it's all the same. It's how you prepare.
Right.
However you've prepared is how you're going to perform. Right. I'm not, and you may be different, I'm not a believer in gamers.
No, I'm not either. And I hear that a lot. And it is true that great players, a lot of times will make great plays in games and da-da-da-da.
I'm not relying on that.
That is a sustainable effort for a particular game, but not for championship-style play. And the reason I tell you that, my most prepared players that I've ever coached, when it became really, really tough, the ones that took practice serious and did their job were the highest performers. Okay, I had to take certain kids out this year in playoff game that was very important to us because the level of preparation, even though they may have been a fantastic athlete, they were falling to the level of their training when the competition got better, and I had to put a kid in that maybe wasn't near as athletic, but was still trained at a high level to do their job, because in situations like that, it's not about the great athlete making a play. It's about the person doing their job and then making the play. And that's what bothers me about the Trey Lance, Carson Wentz, the kid that is at the Jets, the quarterback from
I cannot call his name.
I mean, I hope they're successful. Please don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I really pull hard for these guys. They are blessed to be able to have this opportunity. I want them to succeed. But when they don't, I don't want people to sit there and go, well, I can't believe they didn't do this. Look at Mac Jones. What kind of training did he have for 5 years?
Right.
He had NFL coordinators at his college.
Right.
And he didn't even start. But yet he's like the SEC all-time this, that, and, you know, now Bryce took it over. But up until that point, the point is look at the level of training. That's so important.
Environment is really huge. People don't understand
if you don't
how
hear
important.
Anything, you know, I know we ramble on, but if you don't hear anything that I say, the one thing that I have been taught, have reinforced, studied, you know, analyzed, modeled, tested, is the ability to fall back on your training and to be very good at what you do, your training level and the things that you go against, your outside, you know, forces that you go against.
Right.
That's what makes you better than who you are. If you're all the time being successful and, this many yards against a crappy defense, it doesn't – when it comes crunch time, you have nothing to fall back on except your greatness.
Yeah.
And how's that working out?
Well, people don't understand how complicated it is to be a winner and how much goes into it. All right, we got to get out of here. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. The boys will be here in the morning from 8 to 10. We will be gone next week, so we'll see you on Thursday for a special Myrtle Beach edition. Have a great weekend. Happy April Fool's Day. See you next week sometime.